cut off.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale. I'm the general manager, and Josh Prophet. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
We got a couple guests in the studio here this morning, don't we?
We do.
I wonder if they got any sleep last night.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We got Bobby Stahl and Steve Baker here from what do we got? What do we call you guys anyway? Because it's not you're racing at Kansas International Dragway. Do you have a theme or anything or
Big Daddy?
Big Daddy.
Steve's the Ghost.
The Ghost.
His car's named the Ghost. I just say my name, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Well, anyway, you guys had a good night out of Kansas International Dragway. Got another night coming up tonight, so can't wait for the recap. But anyway, this is a call-in show, 316-462-3673, anything alien, car, tires, brakes, batteries. But most importantly, let's talk about what happened out of Kansas International Dragway. When you call in, you get a great price package valued at over $130 for each and every caller. Josh, what's in that package so we get these callers ripping in here?
So we're going to send it out to you, but it's going to consist of the works, an oil change, and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, making sure the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, everything's safe and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also receive $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the big corner. Complete nitrogen for your tires, and then you'll get a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then a can of CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, gentlemen, tell us what happened at Kansas International Dragway last night. Sound like you're pretty excited.
Well, yeah, crazy. But first off, let me tell you a little bit why this thing's going on and what we had going on and why we put this together. I've been drag racing for quite a while.
Just a day or two, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got my first. I still have my first high school car, 69 Camaro, and I was 15 years old. And then we go out to the track, and they had a lot of classes for us, and we had a really good time. And as things changed in the racing world, as they put it, money's kind of took over.
Yeah,
and so if you really want to keep up with the big fast guys, in the earlier days, it was kind of a tire size and a motor. Just get out there and get it hooked up, and it was very competitive. Well, today, now they got so much power in the cars that they got to detune the car to get the car to work with the motor. I mean, they got them Pro Chargers and those turbos, and it has gone freaking crazy. So me and Steve, we like to race, so we kind of put a class together. We put a 580 class together and a 470 class together, and Steve actually, and I'll let him talk about that, but he won the 580 class the last race we had. Very good.
It was about a month ago, 2 months ago. When was that?
About a month ago.
A month ago, yeah.
Steve,
you won it, huh, Steve?
Yeah, he got his own plaque. It says Steve Baker 580 class, and they had his name on the 580 class, and he got his own plaque.
Everybody's got to know, Steve, what hot rod you driving?
68 Camaro.
68 Camaro.
Beautiful 68 Camaro.
White. Bob built the thing. Bought it from Randy Stedham about 7-8 years ago. It was a nostalgia car. It used to be kind of a pink with blue flames.
Yeah.
Couldn't have that.
Yeah, I get you.
We took and got it painted, and then Bob and Daryl did all the motor work on it, and Randy provided us with a good base, and we just ran from there with it. And we went through a couple motor changes until we figured out, where we wanted to be, and these classes kind of dictated the motor size, the horsepower, and where we wanted to be, and just been real fortunate to have a really good combination in that car right now that allows us to be right in that 580 range.
Right in that range.
Yeah. And there's a lot of guys out there. I mean, their cars are faster than mine. I just go out there and I just try to cut them down on the tree and run a consistent number as kind of like bracket racing as best I can. And there's some guys out there, I tell you what, they're great racers. I mean, they've done this stuff. They do it, we do it 3 or 4 times a year. They do it every other weekend.
Yep.
I mean, these guys
every weekend.
Every weekend.
Yeah. So a 580 class, it's an 8th mile.
Mm-hmm.
So how fast will you go in that 580? 100 and what?
120-ish.
120-ish?
Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Okay.
It's still quick, but
it's quick. So now if some people to equate that in a quarter mile, what speed would that be?
Probably about 150 and 90.
150 and
945.
Yeah.
Somewhere there.
Okay. When you talk about your motor combination and stuff, so you run, I'm sure it's got to be a big block, right?
Yeah. It's a aftermarket 555 with a little Bobby Stahl tune up in it.
Folly stall tuna.
We got to make them run good.
Yeah.
We need everything we can get out of them because we don't have power editors.
Yeah.
In the 580, it's just on the motor.
Well, that's cool. So you won that last time. So you got some guys coming after you this time, Steve.
Yeah. Charles, he drives, I think it's a 70 Camaro. It's a beautiful, beautiful car. He's kind of my,
he wants Steve so bad he can taste it.
yeah, he's every time he tells me he's going to win it, I wind up winning. So I was hoping last night he'd come out and say he's going to take this one from me. He didn't say that this time, so we'll see what happens. But we picked up a couple other guys out of the bracket racing that are in our category. They're going to run in the 580. We had about 4 or 5 cars out last night. We're hoping to see, additional maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 more.
Yep.
If we do, then obviously we're going to throw a little bit more money at it and. Just making it appealing class that, if you run in that 9-second index, there's no reason why your car won't tune to a 580.
Okay, so can a 10, 11-second car get in the 580 class 2? Or is it not competitive or can't be?
They can, but you're going to have a little bit of a power adder. To get to 580, I mean, you're going to have to be turning out close to 1,000 horsepower. And you're going to have,
So you got to run. No, you can't run any faster than a 580, correct?
Right. If you run a 579, it's what we call a breakout. You went too fast and you're done. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
not unless the other guy breaks out,
right.
And
the other guy
breaks out least.
First is worse.
Yeah. So I got you.
So, and that's exciting. Like I said, that makes it really competitive for the other racers that are, instead of it just heads up class and goes fast and whoever fastest wins. So kind of keeps you in the boundaries.
I got you. Okay, so that's the 580 class. Now we're going on the 470 class. Is that the class you're in, Bobby?
Yeah, the 470 is to go 470. And now Mike Seacrest, he's got a mean motor in his car. He don't need no power additor in his car, and his car works really good.
What do you mean power additor? So our listeners can understand what that is. What do you mean by that?
Power additor's like a blower,
okay,
or a
turbo, or
pro charger, or a turbo, or nitrous.
So what you're saying? Are you guys both running naturally aspirated cars?
Yes, in the 580, and then on the 470, I run nitrous.
You do have nitrous.
Yeah, spraying about 300 shot of nitrous and get her done. We went out there last night, and
so there had to be some exciting stuff. You had smiles on your faces when I walked in here this morning.
So it was crazy.
I had someone on here says crazy way to end the night.
Yes.
So what?
Yeah,
something must have happened last night.
Oh, it was. I'm telling you, if God wasn't involved there, it would have been horrendous. But this is what it's all about. We don't like to see people crash, but there are some things happen. There was a funny car last night, and Steve can tell you some of them funny cars are just crazy because they got to win. They bounced them clear off the ground. I mean, they do whatever it takes to get down the track. And then there was this one funny car last night, lost it and spun down the middle of the track and didn't even hit the guardrail.
Wow.
Just stayed right down the middle of the track. So that was cool.
Really?
And then JR, him and Scotty Palmer get up there, and Scotty goes and does a burnout. Of course, they do half of the track burnouts, and then they back up. And I guess it takes a little bit to get those cars going. And Scotty's died, and he was probably about 1,000-foot mark out there, just sitting there. And JR knew he was there, and it was kind of dark in the end. I mean, they had lights shining on it, but he didn't have no tail light or nothing. Well, Scotty gets out of his car and gets out and just walks out over the guardrail and watches from afar. And JR still made the pass, and he lost the traction, went clear across the track, bounced off the east wall. He was on the tower side, and the bounce brought him back across and clipped the back of Scotty's car. And it could have been it was a heck of a show, and I'm glad it turned out the way it did. But JR's car's got some pretty good damage on it, but Scotty's had just a little clip on the back, and I'm glad it turned out the way it did because he could have went totally south.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
I didn't know JR drove that car fast.
Oh yeah, JR's a nut.
He's a nut.
Oh, he's a nut. JR is just as crazy you can get.
I got
Super nice guy, but. And he come back, and I said, JR. And I mean, I was concerned. I said, did you know he was down there? He goes, yeah. He said, yeah, I did. I mean, he's going to make the pass anyway.
That's how the car sat out there, huh?
He let it sit out there, and it was leaning toward the inside the track. It wasn't by the guardrail.
Ooh.
And it could have went the other direction just as fast as it went that direction.
Went to the first way, yeah.
So I just, so anyway, good show. Glad it turned out the way it did. Nobody got hurt. And today, guys, I'm telling you, it looks like the weather's going to kind of break
Yeah, I
up for
think
us
you're gonna
too.
be
So
all
I
right
think
here.
it's going to work out. But if you're not doing anything, you need to come out and watch it because these funny cars and what happens just goes crazy. So
Okay, so tonight at Kansas International Dragway, night 2, funny car chaos. And if I'm a spectator and I want to come out, 6, 7, 8, what's a good time to hit out to the track? 'Cause,
they're going to start
of course,
eliminations.
you can start to really starts at what time early today?
I would say around 3:00.
It's when it's going to kind of start kick off. So if you want to hit the whole day, you can hit the whole day. But 6,
I'd
7,
say at least 5.
least
coming
5.
around 5,
5 o'clock.
5,
So
6 o'clock.
Kansas International Dragway out of 53rd and Ridge, right?
61st.
63rd,
yeah,
63rd and Ridge. Excuse me, I was off 10 blocks
or
of a night.
3rd, yeah.
And
But what we got here, we talked about, classes and stuff like that. So me and Steve Baker came together and went out and looked for some sponsors and to pay the purses because, JRs have a rough time, all this stuff going on and what's going on at the track. So we put these classes together, 580 class, and we have sponsors we want to talk about.
yeah, you
And
got to
we-
think. Let's go through everybody on. So you got a different sponsor for each class. Is that
Right.
correct?
Mhm.
Beautiful. That's glad to hear that.
And-
So let's give those guys a plug and for everybody's helped get you guys put this program together and everything else too.
Yeah, I'm racing the 470 class in the purple car, and then I'm racing the Copper Tone Nova, the 580 class.
So you run both classes.
I do. And
All right.
it gets pretty crazy sometimes. I jump out of one car, and then I got to reevaluate and learn where all the switches are. You got to flip from one switch to the other, and
Yeah.
because every car's not the same, and it's kind of tough to do it. But we put these classes on, so I want to sponsor them, and I want to, try to contribute to them. But anyway, what we got here is we have Valley Center Sonic. I got to put my glasses on when you get over about
I got
40.
mine on too, so don't worry about it. I get it.
So
Josh, you'll get there someday.
Yeah.
oh yeah, you wait. So Valley Center Sonic, Rick Menard from Newton. He owns a lot of Sonics, and he's always a big contributor
Good
for
for
our
him.
race.
I always go through Newton. I always pull in there to Sonic grab something.
Yeah,
I'm
you got
telling
that happy hour. You got that happy
Yeah.
hour. That's a big day on happy hour.
Yeah.
So he was there last night, and he said, "Wow!" I mean, he was there. We were standing beside JR's car, looking at it and everything, and Rick enjoyed the show.
Great.
He loved it last night. Auto Smart, Scott Baruth from Wichita. Now, Scott, I got to say something about Scott because Scott came back the last race and he came to me and says, "Bobby, I want to help contribute. I want to be a big part of your 470 class and 580 class." And he said, "Get with me on our next race." And I called him. Man, he was all over it. He said, "Bob, come see me." And he wanted to donate a bunch more money. And I said, "Hey," "we don't need to do that right now. Just give me half now and then give me half the next race." Because I know sponsors, they got to make that money too. So he said, "That'll work." And he was a very big contributor, man of his word. He did what he had to do. Wichita Dyno, Chris Lovett, he was out there last night. He's got another guy comes down in a what's that, Camaro?
It's Camaro. He's from Nebraska. I apologize, I can't remember his name, but
Chris, isn't it? No. Golly, I
Yeah,
can't remember his
his
name. I ain't very good names, but he's on. He's there. He loves it. He loves the class. But Chris Levitt owns Wichita Dyno. If you guys need your cars dynoed, they dyno them. It's not a tire dyno. It's a axle. It hooks up to the axle. And I'm telling you, they'll have, when your car leaves there, they'll find horsepower. They'll make sure your stuff, when I flip my switches on, I know if all my stuff does what it's supposed to do, it's on track, we're going to make it down this track and not burn nothing up. So next one, trucking, Kenyatta. He was out there last night. He enjoyed the show. He was racing. He's in our class. He's got a black Vega.
Well, he
He's
races
from-
too, huh?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Kenyatta's been
is
around
that
a
the
long
Hood
time.
Legend?
He ain't Hood Legend. He's in the Vega.
Okay.
The Hood Legend's the Monza. But he's from Park City, where his next one trucking is. Warren's Automotive. Now, this guy, he's from Keachai. He owns a blue Camaro, beautiful blue Camaro. This guy is deadly. I'm telling you, you got to be on your game. These guys bracket race every weekend. It seems like they're going somewhere. NHR, they got a lot of seat time, and I got to go compete with all these guys. And I'm a part-time racer, but hey, it's all about the fun. You got to have a good time. And then we got Bob Stall Racing,
Who's that guy?
That's me right here. Stall Racing. I try to contribute and put this thing on to have a good time for all the spectators to come and watch that. And then we got Partridge, Paul Partridge from Newton, Kansas. Partridge Roofing. If you guys ever need a roof done, you guys need to come see him because that guy is, him and his son's out there cranking. He's been doing it since high school. But you guys, our sponsors are a big contributor to this, and we wouldn't even have a race if it wasn't for our sponsors.
Very
so
true.
that's the 470. Now we're going to let Steve talk about the 580.
Yeah, I want to hold on for just a second. Was going to say something about last night. You said if you're doing something, not doing something, you've got to come out and see these cars. I mean, I think there were 20 cars out there. There was in the
Funny cars?
funny car. I mean, just
More
cars
than
from
that. I think there's more than that.
cars I've never seen before. I mean, if you want to see some spectacular cars, just
Beautiful cars.
beautiful wrench work. I mean, these cars are just incredible. I've been Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and watched races, and I tell you, this is a pretty spectacular deal. When I got there, the awe factor hit me. I wasn't quite ready for all that, and then you have the pro mods behind those.
Oh, there's some.
Okay, hold on,
fast
slow down. We got
mods.
a pro mods. Tell everybody what a pro mod is.
Now, a pro mod, one of my buddies, Eddie Rogers, which is he drives the Chevelle from hell. He came up and he's here, and then you've got Wayne and his brother.
Yep.
And then you've got
Wayne Roberts.
Wayne Roberts, and who else was over? Oh, then you got Brandon,
Yep.
JR's son.
So what makes it a pro mod? I guess that's what, so our listeners can understand what
They just got more money.
They're right in between us and the big boys. I mean, they're big boys.
The funny cars.
Yeah, the funny cars. They basically they can run big engines. They don't all run on nitromethane. They run on a little bit of a different. They can
Big
run
blowers.
on big blowers, alcohol.
Yeah.
There's a turbo car out there. So I mean, those guys they put down. In Tulsa, I've seen these guys put down. The 390s, 380s.
Oh, there's some threes last night.
Was there? Yeah. And Eddie, I've seen him. He's put a 370 down there in Tulsa. I know Brandon's very capable of doing it. Both Wayne and his brother. They're beautiful cars.
They're just a lot more horsepower is what you're saying.
Yeah. And most of those cars you're going to see, they're going to be like a regular setup car. They're not going to, flip the top. They're a door slammer car. They're not centered in the center of the car. Mm-hmm. They're just like a regular driving car.
And are they suspension in the back?
Yeah. Most of them will have a floating suspension in them. They're like Bobby said, they're right there. I mean, they're monsters. They're just a different category, and they're just monsters. They are. Yeah. I love to watch them run. I mean, used to go down and when Kennendale was open and watch them down there and run, but now they're running out of Texas. They've got a new track down there in Texas, just south of Dallas a little bit. But yeah, gotcha. I mean, if your kids have never seen a fast car, I will tell you, bring your earplugs. These cars are loud.
They're loud.
And I mean, they're spectacular. I very rarely have ever seen a car leave the starting line and I could see completely under the car. I mean, one of those cars came completely off the ground, hopped, bounced, bit again, and took off. And I mean, I still think he turned out somewhere around a 430. So I mean,
so you got to have a little bit of guts behind one of those suckers.
I don't know if you call it guts or just
no fear,
big kahunas, because these guys, I mean, you watch them from the back when they're going down there in the back of that car and they don't let out. It's all over the track.
Control the whole time.
Yeah. And they just
control.
They love it. They love it.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get into the 580 class.
That's why it's called chaos.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Sponsorship.
Yeah, I wrote through your guys on okay, this is for the 580 class.
Yeah, this is 580 class. We got KBS Motors, Bob and his crew. They're out of Wichita. Bob, you're a little bit more familiar with KBS.
Yeah, when I have my race, they do race car alignment. They're one of the best around for lining race cars. They know about the toe in on what to do when it comes up, lifts the front wheels off the ground. So they preset that. They've been around a long time. And I always recommend for front end for race cars and stuff, get it down to KBS Motors.
KBS, okay.
Probably bringing mine work down there before too long. I got a little play in it, so we'll get that.
They've done my copper tone Nova.
Yeah, I've got to get the red one down there. So, and this guy Mario Williams, a Clear Direction, deals with some addiction problems. Any
kind of DUI,
any kind of
like
issues.
That. He'll get you on the right track.
Yeah.
So
and then we got H&M Truck Lube and Wash. That's Treg down there, Treg Fletcher. Anything you need on. Wash, lube, anything on your truck, car, any bigger.
He has a mobile washer too. He can go to you, and he's been doing that for quite a while. And Treg's always contributed. He's a drag racer, and he called me too and says, "Bob, when are you gonna come get this check?" So, I mean, I like that. When people want to help contribute to the race fund on the sponsorship. So that
and
was
that's
awesome.
Treg at H&M here in Wichita. You got CJS Automotive and Pro Tire. You got Dave Norman over there. He's in Newton.
Right there on Washington Road.
Washington Road. Anything you need on tire, automotive. I mean, if
He has alignment machine.
alignment
too.
machine for regular cars, over the road cars that you're
Mhm.
on a day-to-day basis.
Yep. Dave's a good contributor too. He's all in on helping out.
Yep. And don't be afraid. I mean, Newton's 18 miles away. I mean, sometimes you drive 18 miles, you know, you can save.
Well, that's as far as Wichita.
Yeah, I mean,
this is across Wichita.
Doesn't mean
Yeah.
just because you're going a little bit out of the way that you're going to pay more or less or whatever, but, you know,
Mhm.
give guy a chance and see what he can do for you.
Right.
Then we got this spectacular guy named Phil Nightingale.
Who's that?
He's a silent partner, I think. Here at Mel Hambelton Ford. I mean, anything, everything you need. You know, this show here represents, you know, the call in. If you guys have any questions, we've got the pro shop over here. New cars, used cars.
Sell nitrous.
Yep.
I've done a lot of nitrous with them too. So
Yeah, our company trucks we bring over here, and they service all of our company trucks. We run dualies, so they have the ability, the racks, to do all the work on it. And we've had some work done on our trucks over here, and appreciate all the sponsorship that we get from you guys.
No, it's part of the deal where Lisa and I have learned, or not learned, we know we have to give back. It's not just what can we sell race parts to or fix your cars or whatever. We need to
Right.
sponsor the racers and support the racers. And whether it's drag racing, dirt tracking, or whatever it is, we're here to help support and give back to the
it all
guys.
makes a big circle, don't
Yeah,
it?
Sure
we
does.
we
Yeah.
definitely appreciate it because again, without you guys, we're not here. I mean,
That's right.
you know, it's we love to race, but you know, we can't come out of our pocket every single time to race and just keep losing money. And we appreciate everybody, you know, putting their time and the effort and what they can do. You know, it's not always the biggest contributor. You know, everybody pumps in a little bit and makes it a fun thing for everybody.
Well, like I said, it never pays for our racing, but what I'm saying is it's something that we go out for, something to win, you know, something to strive for, get a little purse at the end of your race if you win,
Yep.
and it's all fun.
And then we got Acme Dock Specialists. That's a company that I work for. We're located here in Wichita. We're just across the street from Wichita Dyno over there with Chris. Ours is more on the commercial level. What we do is levelers, locks, high-speed doors, safety, food audit type stuff. So keep it compliant for everybody that likes to consume food.
Yeah.
And then Air Cap, we got Lou Robelli over there. You can't miss Lou's spot. If you're headed north on the highway, on the west side of the road, there's 4 or 5 buildings over there that one of them's about a quarter mile long. They do
On I-35.
on I-35. They do warehousing, storage. That's their claim to fame there. And I think that's who Kenyatta works
what
for.
he was sponsoring this to, it was construction. He's opening up a construction
Right.
business, Air Cap Construction. So I think that's building buildings and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he's doing that, and he sponsored us. Now that's Kenyatta's boss,
Right.
and he told him about it, and Lou was all in and threw some money toward a race. So that was nice.
And you actually did some motor work for Lou on his
I
truck.
put a cam in his truck.
Yeah.
He has a nice 70 short bed.
Yeah.
So,
But all real nice, you know, guys always stepping up to make things happen and making our life a little bit easier. And, you know, we're just excited about it. We're hoping that this is something that'll, you know, to continue to go on to invite people, because we were talking about how you asked how fast you would go in a quarter mile. Well, trying to make the game a little bit safer now and a little bit easier on the wear parts for our vehicles, we back that up to an 1/8 mile. So we're not stretching it out quite as far. The 1/8 mile just seems to be a really fun, eventful distance that everybody can compete in.
and you still have the competition there.
Well, that's kind of, you were talking about that the other day with JR, and he was in here and stuff. And it's just a much safer 1/8 mile than the quarter mile. And, you know, we went out and, you know, we're running that 21 Mustang out there and back and forth. And I will tell you that even here, I see the 1/8 mile keep going. You go out there fast, and you're sitting on hanging on just a little bit longer. So I can imagine when you got 3 times the horsepower hanging on for a quarter mile, what that's like.
There's people running 200 miles an hour in 1/8 mile.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy.
And I remember I was in Topeka, and this would have been a late 80s, and it's out there because Pontiac, I was working for the Pontiac store there in town, and the funny cars went, and they went 300. And everybody was all saying, no, it's wrong, and everything else like that. But Topeka was where they broke the 300 mile an hour record.
Yeah, that's a 1,000-foot mark.
Was that what it was? Wasn't a quarter?
No, they go a lot faster than that today in the quarter.
Oh yeah, today they do. Yeah.
So they to get them slowed down, they actually moved that end of the racetrack up to 1,000-foot mark on the big boys.
Yeah.
So they're right in between the eighth and a quarter.
If they go quarter mile, they go 400 miles.
Oh, I know.
You know?
It'll be an airplane.
It's crazy, and it's keeping them cars on the ground's getting to be crazy.
So I think a lot of that can, and you guys can, kind of talk about that, but the game I think has changed with technology and horsepower to go from not necessarily more horsepower, but how to apply it.
Exactly.
Manage horsepower.
Yeah, you got to back the horsepower down to get the car to work.
And when to put it in. And,
it's all a timing thing.
Where it is.
Yeah, the technology has gone nuts. And money has too, because when you got the money, you can get the technology.
So on the transmission side of things, what somebody in a 480 class, what do they typically have for shifting?
We run 2-speed power glides.
Okay.
They did take less horsepower. A lot of people can run 400 turbos or 350 turbos, but we run 2 speeds. So you shift it one time, and it seems to work pretty good. And it don't take as much horsepower to run them. But a lot of people do have 2 speeds. I'd say majority, and then there are some people that go the 400 turbos. So, it's whatever you want to get. The 400s have a lower first gear, which gives you a fast, out of the gate. You got to get it hooked up. Yeah. So,
but as far as how fast you're going to make that shift, and then the delay in the shift, is it worth it?
Well, if the package, I would say to me, now I'm a 2-speed power glide guy, so I like that better than that. But I've seen the 400s run. I can't knock them. I mean, they're a stronger tranny.
Really?
Yeah. 400s turbos are a lot stronger. Yeah. But the 2 speeds, they made them bulletproof too. They're bad. They're name of the game too. So, it's whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And I was going to say over here at Mel Hambelton too, that's been a big help for me because I live on the west side, is the pro shop over here. As far as getting nitrous, I mean, these guys have nitrous fittings that I thought I would never need. Apparel, helmets. I mean, just anything. Nitrous bottles getting filled. Come over here and talk to the guys over here, and they can definitely get you taken care of. And even at the track, we mentioned this, out at the track, they've got their tractor or trailer set up out there. And there's a lot of cars out there last night that had their displays set up, a lot of shirts for kids.
Yep.
I know there's a lot of hats out there.
Turnout.
Yeah, for Friday night, it was a great turnout. I mean, it was pretty exciting to see that.
We did have race trailers. Well, we started the race business about 3 years ago, and it was just kind of a deal that Hoosier came to say, hey, we need to sell tires and everything else. And we just kind of grown this thing into, and now it's getting to be where vendors are actually coming to us wanting to go direct instead of us having to be a kind of a wholesaler. So now we're actually setting up other businesses to sell race parts.
Oh yeah,
stuff too, and everything else too. So it's really fun, exciting. We got a couple more new vendors coming on board. I wish I could announce them today, but I can't. That we're going to be going direct with and stuff. So we're going to keep growing this race business as much as we can to keep taking care of your racers, and then that track support. I can't tell you how many times we've been there, and someone would have been going home, and we give them a part, and they're back on the track.
Back on going.
Right.
Well, I mean, we had a guy, Nebraska guy. He came to me, and Chris Lovett and him came to me and asking me on tire size. They were having some issues getting hooked, and he's fought this for a long time. And I said, what I'd do, I'd go with them stiff wall tires. You're overpowering them. And he went right down there, Phil, at your race trailer, and they had the tires.
Yeah.
And he bought those tires and put them on. He came back to me smiling.
There you go.
Oh, he had it ear to ear. He was smiling. He said, Bob, that car's never ran this fast.
There you go.
So,
anyway, hey, 316-462-3673, anything ailing your car, but you get a great price package by over $130 for each and every caller. But you want to call in and talk about what's going on at Kansas International Dragway, or ask Bobby and whatever thing you want to talk about, you guys.
Yeah.
Anything, any questions you got or whatever. Just
well, my opinion, there's a lot of things going on today. I mean, this time of the year, there's a lot of things going on, and what we do, we go to work each and every day, and we come home and whatever, and you really don't have no stories to go to work and talk about. So my attitude, let's get out of the house. Let's go out and have a good time and enjoy a show that this show don't come around. I mean, this is actually the first time they ever had this Funny Car Chaos.
Is the first time out here?
I think so. Yeah, I've never seen
Now,
him before.
isn't this a traveling show? The Funny Car Chaos. Isn't this a guy? He brings this show around
Yes.
different races
Mhm,
and all that kind of
Chris.
stuff.
Yeah, Chris down there
Stuff
from
too. So
in America.
Yeah, and so like I said, they're here to put on one heck of a show, and boy, it gets exciting. And like I said, Steve said, bring your earplugs.
do
Because
you think you need earplugs?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
they do some burnouts, and boy, you better hold your ears.
I don't know. I hate to tell you, I kind of love the noise.
I know, but Phil, you're going to be deaf time you get older.
I'm old enough, aren't I?
But the track was full last night. It was. I haven't seen really that many people at the track in a long time. That was really enjoyable to see that.
Well, good. So everybody needs to head out to Kansas International Dragway tonight, and everything kind of starts at 3:00, right?
Yeah, they're going to be doing some qualifying during the day, and then I think around 3 they're going to start doing the eliminations and see what happens. And man, like I said, I was talking over the motors last night. I'm a little hoarse over the deal because so many people come up and talk to you, and then you talk of this and talk of that. And
Oh yeah,
and you're yelling, Phil, because of the motors and stuff.
He started yelling and stuff too. I think we got a caller coming through, right, Josh?
Getting them patched through now.
All right,
so.
get a caller patched in here real quick and stuff too. And all right, so we got our sponsors all named. We'll go back through those again. Those guys all get recognized for everything they've done to help you guys get this put off here in a little bit. And about ready to have him come through, Josh.
Yeah. Get him. I think.
Do you think?
Yeah,
somewhere in
so.
there. So you're expecting a few more cars, and you guys each run the classes. What'd you do last night in these 2 classes, or did you run these 2 classes last night?
Yeah, I ran the 470. I qualified with a 475.
So it was just qualifications last night?
Yeah, just last night. Yep, just kind of get an idea where your car is going to be. What you want to try to do is get as close to 470 as possible.
And then how many passes you guys get through last night? You get a couple passes?
We ran 2.
2?
2, actually 3.
3.
Three qualifying passes. We'll get 1 in today. And then the 580, we had two hits on the 580 last night.
280. Ready?
Yep, we got a caller on the line here. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you're on live from Under the Hood. Go ahead.
How you doing today, Phil?
Good, really good, buddy. How are you?
I'm all right. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I brought my car into the pass lube to have them diagnose that tire sensor modulator or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
The TS, the tire pressure sensor.
Yeah, TPS. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Monitoring system. Yeah. And they didn't do anything about that. The only thing they did is they fixed a leak in my tire, did my oil change, and then when they rotated my tires, they rotated my driver's side to my passenger side. Is that the proper way to rotate?
Yeah, so a couple of different things. One of them is on a tire rotation. Typically, we do front to back, but really depending upon tire wear and everything like that. I mean, they're going to rotate the tires based upon how the tires are wearing for the vehicle. And so if you have if you have a tire that's maybe chopping one way or feathering one way and it needs to rotate on the opposite side of the car to kind of knock that down, then that's how they'll do that. But for the most part, the most common way to rotate a tire is just front to rear. But again, every vehicle's different from that side.
From front-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive, and like you said, which one's wearing and stuff too.
What happens on them tires, when you turn them corners, they roll over and you get a lot of wear on the side of those tires, on the outside edge.
Yep.
So when you get that much wear, then you'd turn around and move them to the back. So if they change sides, that wasn't going to hurt nothing. But just as long as they took the front and moved them to the back, and moved the back to the front, it really didn't matter which side. But you want to try to get that wear evenly, and then the back, it'll start wearing straight again. And the fronts will start wearing on the side the back wasn't wearing on. So I don't think that was hurting anything at all.
And then as far as so we performed a tire repair, it sounds like. Maybe you had a leak on one or something.
Yeah, I had a leak on one tire.
Yeah.
They said they thought I saw a nail in it.
Okay, and fix that. So on the low tire indicator or the tire monitoring system, there could potentially be a fault or maybe even a sensor that's out of that. There's batteries in those sensors, and just depending upon age and stuff like that, may have a sensor that needs to be replaced. But I'll throw a diagnostic onto your package for calling in, and we'll dig into that and see why that light's on. And it could be just a matter of needing to be trained from that side too. So
I still got the card for them to find out what's wrong with it.
Oh, do you?
And
Yeah, I
they
think you called in the
even
show
do
earlier.
anything to it. They said they overlooked that, which I understand they overlooked it. But I was just curious about that because the first time I came in, the tire sensor was on my front driver's side.
Yeah,
then it
no,
went
it
to my
moved.
back driver's side.
Oh, and
Yeah.
And then it went to my passenger front, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? So did they rotate my tires? And then after looking at them, my back passenger tire that was on there is now on my front, or my back driver's side is now on my front passenger side. So that's what threw me for a loop of why it was rotated differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not following as far as location, but as far as running a tire from one side to the other, it's not going to hurt anything to do that. And whenever we pull tires off, we really try to put them back in the best spot for that tire, for the individual tire, from that side of it. So be more than happy to get the vehicle back in and figure out exactly what's going on with the low tire light situation and why that's on and get it retrained.
The other thing we
for
do,
you.
we can look at that tire and show him why we
Yeah,
put that tire in that
why
spot,
we-
what the cupping was going on with that tire and why it went there. So
And that sensor, if
Okay.
it's bad, it's going to show bad in a different area.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
because it's still the sensors that's bad, the battery probably gone dead.
yep, exactly.
So,
All right.
Okay.
And I can buy those sensors and bring them in and have y'all put them in, right?
We'll have them in stock. Typically, we carry a pretty thorough line of them for sure because of all the vehicles that we have in and out of here. There may be a few of them that we don't have, but typically they're pretty readily available as far as getting them. So, and then we also have the Motorcraft ones, but then we also have some aftermarket ones that are basically a little more price friendly for sure. So, but we can get
Well, I
you.
priced them what y'all wanted before, and y'all were $40 higher than AutoZone was.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of difference between a factory sensor and an aftermarket one. An aftermarket, any aftermarket part from that side of things, you're basically buying a SKU that they've modified or manufactured to fit several different vehicles. And when I say fit, I mean it will work on there. From a technician standpoint or a longevity standpoint, or when you get into an OE part or original equipment part, it is specifically made for that VIN of your vehicle to perform and last far as longevity wise the most. And when you get into an aftermarket part, they may modify it one way or the other so that one part can fit several different applications, so that AutoZone or O'Reilly's or places like that don't have to stock as many SKUs, and they're basically universal for all intents purposes. But for a longevity side of things, I mean, you get what you pay for when it comes to that kind of things. Now, something as simple as a tire pressure monitor system or a tire monitor, it's probably not that big a deal to use something aftermarket on it. But when you get into alternators or water pumps or something that literally, if it breaks, you're on the side of the road, it's definitely a little more important to be using original equipment components on that. Not to mention the other side of that is the warranty that's available on those components through the manufacturer. If you have an issue with a Motorcraft part and it's put on by a dealer, that's going to be good. The warranty for that component is going to be good at any Ford dealer across the nation, parts and labor. You go to O'Reilly's and buy a part, and they do have a lot of lifetime components on parts. But when you get there, the first thing you got to have is a receipt. Be able to show it. Then the other thing is no parts or no labor warranty on it from that side of things. If you do it at a Ford dealership, all that stuff is, I mean, all the dealers are connected to each other, and it's the warranty's right there. And again, it's parts and labor. So there's a lot of differences between aftermarket components and factory components for sure. And from a consumer standpoint, people just look at that price and think, well, it's cheaper. Well, it is cheaper, but in the long run, what's it really cost you? So
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, I work on cars too out of my own garage, and I know that the dollar amount, if you try to rob Peter to pay Paul. He'll come back and cost you in the
Yep.
long run. So
Yep.
try to look at the quality you get on the parts and go from there.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks for the call, buddy. Really appreciate it. 316-462-3673. Hey, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, but you get a great price package buy one for $30. But let's talk about what's going on at Kansas International Dragway tonight and have a big crowd out there again. And I'm sure it's going to be twice as fun tonight, right?
Yeah, it should. Saturday is the big day here. And it should. I mean, last night was a nice house, spectators everywhere. And tonight should be the bigger. I mean, usually Saturday night's the big night. And there's a lot of things going on today if the weather permits and everything. And I would recommend coming out and enjoying it, and you'll have a good talk for the rest of the week because these guys are crazy. That's all I can say. I thought I was crazy, but I think they're crazy.
So grab your earplugs and head out, right?
Yeah.
So as far as like number of racers in each class, do you have just kind of a rough idea, like between your two classes here?
They have, I bet you they have 30 funny cars. And then in our 580 class, we should have 10, 12 cars in the 580. 470, there could be some people sneaking in, but we have at least, I think, 5 or 6 in that class. And then the Pro Mods, they have a nice turnout in the Pro Mods too. And then they got some nostalgia cars out there. And everything's heads up. It's a fun game. It's no bracket cars tonight. It's all heads up. And
So explain the heads up portion of it. What's that mean?
heads up, you line up, you run what you run what you brung, and you got to get to the other end first. And no matter what it takes, you got to get the stripe. And these guys, they get on and off of it, bounce their cars off the ground, get back in it, go from one guardrail to the other. It is crazy. And it's a fun show. It keeps you at the edge of your seat. I'm tired last night because, I mean, right now I'm kind of wore out already because I didn't get to bed till 1. And then you got racing on your mind. And then you got to get up. And then I woke up 5 this morning and I was working on copper tone. I moved the bottle around and had some things going on in it. And so and then I'm back out here. And then I got to go run to a funeral after this and then run back out to the track. So it's going to be a crazy day.
Yeah.
And I'm already wore out. Phil.
Already wore out, right?
Oh, yeah.
But once you get going, once you get back out to the track,
Oh,
you're in
yeah.
that
Once I get
environment.
in that groove,
It'll take off, and
It'll hit me about 3 o'clock this morning.
yeah.
So, and then I'll be down and then get up and go to church. It's just a crazy life. But, you know, the successful people do the things that unsuccessful people don't want to do.
There you go.
You know what, Phil?
Yeah,
So
I sure do.
I just go.
I'm with you on the go part.
I just pulled up the schedule. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
You're
you're
fine.
It looks like the gates open at 9 or 10. I'm sorry. Class time trials start at 11:30. Outlaw Pro Mod qualifier number 2 will be at 12:30 today. And class racing, that's us, continues as scheduled, or as they call us up. Funny car qualifying number 3 is at 2 o'clock with the Outlaw Pro Mods as well. Funny car eliminations start at 6. Nitro Pro Mods at 9. Funny car and Pro Mod final rounds should be starting at 10:30, and they hope to be done. I don't know how this is going to happen, but be done by 11. So I would tell you that if they move everything up a little bit, it might happen, but probably going to be somewhere in that 11:30, 12 o'clock range.
Very cool. Well, we've got another caller on the line, so we're going to go to the phones and talk to Denny. Denny, you're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a 2012 Chrysler Town and Country. This has to do with the air conditioner. It has both a front and a rear blower. My question is, the air conditioner works in the front and in the back. I can hear the blower, the fan motor run and change speeds and stuff, but no air comes out of the air conditioning vents in the rear.
You're not receiving any air movement through it. It's not that it's hot or cold. It's just you don't feel any air at all.
That's correct. No air.
Gotcha. And is this all the time, whether you just start the vehicle up or after it's been running for a while, or?
All the time. And
Oh.
I've changed it both from air conditioning to heat just to see if it made any difference. It makes no difference. There's just no air coming out.
Gotcha. How long has it been doing that for?
Oh, probably now started last summer actually, and then once summer got past and really didn't use that air conditioner much anymore, I really didn't think about it until I sat in the back seat and I go, "Hey, this isn't working."
But as far as heat in the winter, it didn't work then either, providing heat back
No.
there. Okay, yeah. So
No.
there's a couple of different things that I'm thinking of. One, I was wondering about the evaporator in the case actually icing over and not allowing airflow through there, but I don't think that's the case if it's doing it all the time. So if as soon as you start the car, so there's basically a case in the back that they call it the HVAC case, which is the heating and ventilation and then all the duct work in there. But there's doors in there that control, flow, where the air goes, and then also temperature, what direction the air flows and then what temperature the air comes. And I'm wondering if there's not a door that's maybe broken or stuck that's causing it to not allow that air to flow through the ductwork like it needs to. So that would be one thing. The other thing, it sounds like you're saying that the blower motor, you can hear it running, but that connects to the blower motor itself, connects to what they call a squirrel cage or a squirrel fan. And then maybe if there's something going on with that connection there and it's just not able to spin that fan like it needs to, it could be something along those lines. What we're going to do, we'll throw a diagnostic onto your package, and we're going to take a look at that at no charge to you and see just exactly what's going on with that thing for you and get you some cool air. I don't know. It's been warm the last couple of days, so probably better if both of them were working.
Yes. Okay. Hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, and we'll get that sent out to you. Okay.
Well, I've seen some fans like that, the squirrel cage break in the inside.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, Josh, some more comments coming through on that tire sensor light, and somebody wants to comment that we don't know how to reset the tire lights, and yeah, we do. It's that Jeffrey Coates, gentleman commented that we had to recalibrate the sensor street when we rotate the tires, and that wasn't even the question. The question was why do we rotate the tires the way we did? But yeah, we have all the tools and sensors to reset those sensors every time we rotate the tires. So Jeff, we'll call you again, Jeff, after the show and get that all straightened up for you and let you know what's going on there too. So anyway, gentlemen, some more. We're coming end of the show here a little bit. We need to talk more. Make sure we got it covered on.
We want to talk about our sponsors again. We cannot let the ball drop on that. Okay,
no,
because
we need to let those guys get their plug for everything they do to help you keep the racing going. And can't thank them enough for what they do to help you guys race and put on a good show. And
if you guys are out and about, like I said, write these sponsors down because I like to contribute and try to bring my money back to the people that sponsor us for these races. And you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And it's kind of a situation like that. And so I'm going to talk about this. If you guys are happy hour, Newton, Kansas, what have you, Valley Center, and Rick owns a bunch of them everywhere. But Valley Center Sonic, we talk about that a lot because that's over by 81 Speedway, and that's over close to the racetrack too. So it ain't too far away. But Rick owns that one. And if you guys want a little Route 44 drink, swing in there and get you something to drink, or an ice cream cone or sandwich, a hamburger, whatever. So Valley Center Sonic. AutoSmart. Now, Scott owns AutoSmart. He owns quite a few AutoSmarts. The biggest, this main AutoSmart's over at Central and
235.
235. Yeah, right there at Central and 235. So swing in there, and if you need your car looked at, Scott can fix you up, and super nice guy. And very loyal to you and take care of you. Wichita Dyno, Chris Lovett. You need cars dynoed, worked on. He works on cars like that too. And he does some of the stuff that a lot of people won't even touch. And very committed and trustworthy guy, Chris Lovett. So Next One Trucking, Kenyatta. He hauls a lot of stuff all around the country. And I don't know if you need anything hauled, but I think that we can't really do much business with him. He's already taken care of. But Warren's Automotive, another one out of Keachai. He does a lot of stuff like that to work on cars. He's a racer, and he helps contribute to our races, and super nice guy. And then Install Racing, I do all kinds of stuff on the side and build rear ends, and I do whatever, and I can get her done pretty quick. So. And then we got Partridge Roofing, Paul Partridge out of Newton, Kansas. If you need a roof done, look him up. Partridge Roofing, him and his boy, and and he's been doing roofing ever since high school. So anyway, can't thank them enough. That's the 470 class.
In 580 class, we got KBS Motors. That's Bob and his crew over there. The alignments on the front end of the race cars and stuff. You have your car over there.
Yep.
Mario Williams at A Clear Direction. If you have an affliction and you get taken of or addiction, get a hold of Mario over there. He'll get you taken care of. H&M Truck Lube and Wash. That's Treg. Treg's been a great contributor since day one. If you have anything over there, mobile wash, lube, anything you need taken care of, just give him a call. He's here in Wichita. Excuse me. You got Dave Norman over at CJS Automotive and Pro Tire. They're in Newton. Anything that you need taken care of on your vehicle.
Right on Washington Road there. Yep.
Yep. Phil Nightingale here at Mel Hambelton Ford. Definitely appreciate everything he does for us. So if you have any needs, come in here. I mean, full service, anything that you need, they've got it here. Then our company, Acme Dock, here in Wichita, we're more of a commercial, so we don't have a big.
You work on people's garage doors on the side.
Yeah, I'll do some residential stuff now and then if I need car parts. So.
Yeah.
Car parts.
And then we have Lou over there, Air Cap in Park City. Great guy. If you if you're a commercial business and you have some stuff that you need to get stored.
And he's talking about his construction business.
Yeah, it's construction business.
He puts up buildings and stuff.
Yeah,
so
if you need a building, I'm sure he'd come out and take a look at it, and from the flat work up. And Phil, you said you were going to bring the Mustang out tonight, aren't you?
It's coming out again tonight. It's headed. It was out there last night, of course. He said it had a good pass. Nick Roberts was driving it last night. So this afternoon, it's headed out to Automobilia for a little bit to be on display there, and then 6:30 or somewhere around there, we're going to grab it and bring it back out to KID. And
are you going to drive it?
I think I might.
Yeah. I need to see this. So you ain't drove a car for so long, right?
Oh no, Josh.
Yeah,
Josh,
we were out there.
talk.
So we've got a caller on the line. We're gonna go to the phones here. We're gonna talk to Saved by the Phone. So we're gonna go to the phones. We're gonna talk to Curtis. So Curtis, you're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I had a question. I have a 2001 Chevy Silverado, and when I drive it, I've noticed a couple times you drive it for about 15, 20 minutes and shut it off, and it doesn't want to start again. And if you let it cool down, maybe for 20, 30 minutes, it'll start back up. It's even happened going down the road. It just all at once shuts off, and I towed it home one time. By the time I got it home, I tried to start it again. It fires right back up. I was just wondering if you guys might have an idea.
So a couple of things that I would ask is that once it does start, does it run okay, or does it stumble or anything, or?
And it seems to run fine. Yeah.
Once it's up and going. One of the things that comes to my mind off the bat is if so basically there's check valves in the fuel pump in the tank, and I'm wondering if you're losing line pressure. So that vehicle should hold fuel pressure when it's shut off, and if it's bleeding that fuel pressure back into the tank, I would wonder it's just not able to get that fuel pressure right off the bat and not firing up there. Now, one of the things, if you cycled the key a couple of different times before you actually tried to start it and it took off, then that would maybe indicate that we're kind of on the right path here. Putting a fuel pressure gauge on the truck would be the other thing. I don't know if you got,
I got a pretty good idea what it is. On them 2001s, they have a sensor right above the starter. It's a crank sensor.
Gets hot.
It gets hot and it loses spark. And you have to take the start.
Okay.
You have to take the starter off to get to it. It's right behind it.
Yeah.
And then when it
Okay.
cools down,
Okay.
then it works again. I've dealt with them before.
Yeah. So
Okay, that's exactly what happened because I have had because that's what I thought with the fuel pump and things like that. I had all that replaced. And so, yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. If it cools down, it's fine.
Yeah. I'd say it's that sensor right above the starter.
And what we'll do
Okay.
again for calling to the show, we'll throw a diagnostic onto your package as well. Take a look at that at no charge to you. Figure out just exactly what's going on with it. One thing I can promise you is it's probably only going to get worse from that side of things.
Okay.
And you want to get it taken care of before it leaves you stranded somewhere and you're not able to get it restarted. So save yourself a tow
Right.
bill and the headache and hassle and all that stuff. So
You hate those things when they work and then they don't work.
Yeah.
You wish they just didn't work. Then you could figure it out.
yeah, from this side of the
Exactly.
business,
Intermittent is the worst problem to
Oh,
fix.
it kills you. Kills you.
Yeah, from this side of the
Well,
business,
thank
that's
you
the worst,
guys.
worst thing to have. So, but we'll get that diagnostic added onto your package and sent out to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you guys so much. I appreciate
And we'll
it.
see you at the raceway tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck. Hey, I have been driving the race car a little bit.
You have?
Yeah, I've drove the yellow car quite a bit. I probably drove the yellow car more than anybody.
Are you a
drove.
little scared?
No, I ain't
You
scared.
ain't been in it in a while.
And then we drove I've been out driving the 21 Mustang out there too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the videos you see us doing, that's all those passengers are me in that car.
Remember you? Mhm.
Yeah. Josh took a GT 500 down the
Yeah.
track the other day too.
Isn't that fun?
It is.
I'm
It is a
telling you,
blast.
it's terrible. It's
addicting, isn't it?
It's worse than drugs, guys. I'm telling you, it gets in your blood, and you just got to feel it.
Yeah.
And the more money you spend, the less time you get in the car. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that does. I was going to say something real quick too, Phil. You were talking about automobilia. We caught a little flack of having the race on the same weekend as automobilia, but I tell you what, if you want to go down and see some pretty cars today, walk downtown, take a look at some cars. But if you
if you want to see those cars,
if you want to see those cars go
End
fast,
up at the track.
come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Come down the
the
track.
cars are beautiful, set in steel, but I like to see them move.
I want to hear them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fire them up. Let's bring
Better
them
get
down
your boys and come out tonight,
Yeah.
Josh.
It makes your hair rattle. Well,
doesn't
yours don't.
Careful, careful.
I know. But man, I swear your hair vibrates.
It does.
Oh,
It does. It's so much fun.
it's crazy.
And everything else too. So yeah, we'll be out there tonight and everything else. But the Mustang's going to go to automobile just for a little bit. We got a little display out there for a little bit, and then 6:30 or so we'll get it out there again. And so you said Nick had a pretty good run last night in it, huh?
Yeah, I mean it got down the track, it hooked real good, and he's a good experienced driver, and he was working.
Yeah,
that car sounded good too.
That car is just it amazes me. It launches hard, it launches straight. You don't even really like to drive it; it just drives straight down
Yeah,
the
but
track.
them Mustangs, I'm telling you, I have to say, them Mustangs run.
They do.
I'm talking, they're built for racing.
Yeah, and that's the thing with
You
that.
remember that little Fox bodies? They
Yeah.
built them for racing,
I know
and they work.
they do.
Yeah.
They work. I mean, wow. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
So-
actually last night I was up there with Dave Dawkins. We had a little light on the tree that was messing up, and went in there and we got it fixed. And so I hung back with Dave in the middle. There's a little booth in the middle, and
Yeah,
we got
right
guys
there in
on
the
both
front.
sides. And the pro mods came through, and oh my god, I got it from both directions. I thought I was going to explode.
didn't you hold your ears?
Yeah, I had to.
You need to, Steve. That's
I was
crazy.
like, wow. I mean, but even holding your ears, it's the vibration that just.
Oh, I know.
It's like an earthquake. I
The
mean,
bombs going on.
Yeah, it's
nuts.
That's what it's bombs
spectacular.
going off inside the
Yeah, and
cylinder
then
head.
motors.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But we want to talk about Daryl Palmer. He's been around. Daryl's like my racing dad. Met him when I was 15 years old or 16, and he's been building motors for me for years, or does my machine work and does my clearances and everything. I put them together. But I'm telling you, we're all getting older. It's going to be a sad day when Pops ain't going to be able to do it no more. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yep. I hear you.
We ain't getting out of this world alive. So,
We sure aren't we?
so let's enjoy. Let's have some good times in life. Let's get her done, guys. Let's don't stay at home.
Exactly. So
Get out of
everyone,
the house.
everyone head out to Kansas International Dragway. And I guess if you're not a drag racer, you can go to 81 Speedway tonight. They got a big late model show going on out there too.
A
Head
lot
out
of
to
things going on.
Get out to Automobilia. So all kinds of racing, whatever you need or whatever. We're going to have some fun tonight. And get out of the house. Let's go have some fun at Kansas International Dragway. Gentlemen, I'll be there with bells on, ready to go.
Okay, come
Appreciate
talk
it.
to me.
I will-
Hey,
I'll come
now I'm
find
at
you.
the races. I'm in another world.
Oh,
so
I can
you
trust
can
me.
come talk to me, and then you come leave, and then you come back. And I say, where you been all night?
Yeah. Trust me, it happens to me too. I'll get there with Jake and his race crew, and people come try to talk to me and they think I'm being rude or whatever. No, I'm in my I'm in my
it's-
element. I gotta know, I gotta stay focused, I gotta know what calls I'm making and everything. So I get it.
And then people want to talk about
Yeah.
moving their couch or something like that. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? We don't need to talk about that today.
Not right now. Tomorrow.
You know what I mean? Tomorrow.
You commit yourself to some things that you don't remember you committed yourself to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's all fun, guys. We're out there having a blast.
Anyway, Bobby Stahl, Steve Baker, thanks for hanging out with us today. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it, and appreciate the partnership with you guys and everything else. What we can do to help each
Hey,
other
we
keep racing going.
appreciate, like I said, the sponsors. We wouldn't have this without our sponsors. And Phil, you're a big contributor for our sponsorship. And like I said, we're blessed to have you guys on board.
Works both ways, gentlemen.
Okay.
Anyway, gentlemen, I know you need to get going. We
So-
do too. So good luck tonight. Let's have some fun. Let's burn
Okay.
up some fuel, right?
Oh man, let's get her done.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.